Hello, my beautiful friends. I am Laurel Bleadon-Maffei with Illuminating Souls, welcoming you to this episode of Sleepy Bedtime Blessings, a podcast designed to help you rest, relax, and fall asleep, all while deepening in your connection with your beautiful team of angels who love you so. If we're meeting for the first time, allow me to introduce myself. I am an angelic practitioner, a spiritual teacher, and an encourager of souls. And I am also a longtime avid listener of sleep podcasts, which is why I have blended two of my favorite self-care modalities into this podcast, so that I can help you connect with your angels and divine love, as well as help you come into a sweet, soothing, hopefully slightly amusing space where you can relax and receive, and the angels and I can keep you company for the next hour or so. So you may be wondering what I do as an angelic practitioner and spiritual teacher. Well, I teach classes. I love facilitating classes. I offer a new class about every 6 weeks or so. All of my classes take place over Zoom, and most of the time they are small in size, so there is an opportunity to get to know each other. Some examples of my recent classes include a class I'm facilitating right now with my friend Andrea Shear in how to create your own oracle card deck. I also have an ongoing group that I facilitate where I mentor other spiritually centric, soul-inspired entrepreneurs. So if you've ever wondered how to have a business similar to the one that I have a class for that. And I'm also in the midst of facilitating a class, Angel Messenger Training, where I'm helping others learn how to connect with their angels and bring forward messages of love. So that's just a sample of some of the classes that I offer. And as I said, it changes up fairly frequently. I also offer one-on-one sessions over the phone and an ongoing form of support, soul mentoring. So there are lots of ways that we can connect outside of this podcast. And I invite you to visit me at my website, illuminatingSouls.com, where you can sign up for my mailing list. I also post regularly on Facebook, and there are over 270 episodes of Sleepy Bedtime Blessings in the archive, and they are not behind a paywall. So my intention and desire is to offer generous opportunities for you to receive and feel inspired and connect with the love that is here for you. So the way the episodes are designed is usually the first 15 to 20 minutes. We're rambling like I am now, and I bring the angels in for you. And then we move into story time. And story time can be anything from stories from my own life. We might flip through an old community cookbook or a TV guide. And today we are going to be flipping through the pages of Trader Joe's Frequent Flyer, because I love Trader Joe's. And the Frequent Flyer is a wonderful source of amusement for me, and hopefully for you too. But first, we'll stay here in the angel portion of the podcast. So as I record this, it is a Saturday morning, and it is overcast and still and quiet. And I love this opportunity to just come present into the quiet. Because this vibe, this energy is so powerfully compatible with the intention to drift off to sleep. And I do know some of you listen during your waking hours. And so if that is you, even if you are working, going through your day, you can still call in this sweet, quiet energy. Because can't we all use some more of this? So I invite you to just take some nice deep breaths in and out as we gently allow ourselves to call our hearts forward into the love of God, and to know that there is goodness here for you. One of the first metaphysical books that I read that really spoke to my heart is a book you've likely never heard of before, called Mastering Your Hidden Self by Serge Kahali King, who teaches Hawaiian shamanism. And I was utterly enchanted with the concepts that he wrote about. This would have been in the 80s at some point when I read this book. And he teaches various adages, which now that mysticism, New Age thought is much more mainstream than it was back then, the adage I'm going to share with you, you'll go, sure, I know that. And it's this: energy flows where attention goes. Energy flows where attention goes. So our energy flows in the direction of that which we focus upon, that which we give our consciousness to, that we think about, that we participate in. That is where our energy flows. It sounds so obvious, yes? Well, and if it sounds obvious, hopefully it's because it makes sense. We love things that make sense, yes? So often when we're thinking of self-growth, we think of the big stuff. I am healing my relationship with money. And listen, that's fantastic. Yes, 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 yes to that. But I think when we think in really big ways, it takes away the awareness that there are hundreds of times every day we can make these subtle shifts that serve us so well. So, for instance, energy flows where attention goes. And so when I invite you to take some nice deep breaths in as we call ourselves forward into the heart of God for those 10 or 20 seconds, that breath, that desire, that prayer to come into divine love, that's where your energy flows. And over time, this can become a well-worn path. So for me now, all these years later, when I invite myself to call myself forward into the heart of God, it is a well-worn path inside of me. It's intimate, and it's one that I have forged with the help of God and the angels. And how I experience it might be different than how you experience. It's different than a monotheistic religion where we all have to pray the same way and believe the same things. It's like we could all be watching the same sunrise or sunset, and we'll have a sense of marvel, but all we can really do is experience the sunrise or the sunset through our consciousness, and my consciousness is processing it uniquely to me, just as your consciousness will be processing it uniquely to you. So in each of these episodes, there's repetition of certain things in service to giving you a few moments out of your day where you can focus your energy on this divine love that is here for you. I absolutely, heart and soul, believe it is here for you, just like I believe the sun shines every day. Even if it is behind the clouds, even if it is nighttime, the sun is still shining, whether we can perceive it's light or not. The same is true of divine love. It always is. It always exists. And hopefully, through these episodes and other things you're doing, it'll become easier for you to pivot towards the love and towards the light. It's not expected that this become a 24/7 thing for you or for me. I absolutely have times in my day where I'm the earth girl and I'm overwhelmed and upset. But I have the wide range of human emotions. But now, after all of these years, it is so easy for me to pivot and shift and come into the love. And I hope the same for you. That my voice, that the rhythm of these episodes helps you foster almost a Pavlovian response of opening to the love and the soothing, calming, hopefully healing presence and energy of the angels becomes easier for you to connect with. So let's take another few deep breaths in. Again, calling ourselves forward into the beautiful heart of God that holds such love for you. And I'm going to say a prayer blessing to call the angels in. They are already here, but I love sharing this ritual with you. So beautiful angels on high, I invite you to join us here. And I ask that you infuse this broadcast with waves of love, calming, gentle, light-filled love that assists each one of us in coming into a deeper lightness of spirit. Knowing that this world is filled with beauty for each one of us. And angels, we ask that you clear away anything that does not belong to us, especially those denser energies and thought forms that were never meant to be ours, to just clear those so that we can come into the light, bathe in the light, and remember our beautiful ancestry of light. Angels, I ask that you bring each one of our beloveds hearing this broadcast whenever and wherever they hear it. I ask that you bring them blessings of grace, blessings of love, of the knowingness that they are a beloved of this universe. And this world is better because they are here. So I say to you, dear friend, the world is better because you are here. And even if we have never met, I am grateful for the gift of you. You are a prayer answered. You might wonder how that might be so. Well, many years ago, as I was going through my awakening, and I was feeling homesick of the heart, yes. And I hoped to do some form of this work. I didn't know what it would look like. But I knew I wanted to gather people together in the name of love, which might sound like a huge platitude, but it was my greatest prayer. God, bring me together with my soul group, my soul tribe, my people. May we love each other well. May I love them and support them. May I find those who are a vibrational match to all that I am. That I can be a vibrational match to their beautiful hearts. That we can inspire each other. That we can hold hope together. That we can seed our collective prayers of brighter tomorrows into this greater world. And know that none of us are doing it alone. There are many of us here holding the light for brighter experiences, not only for ourselves, but for others. Because what kind of prayer would it be if it was only about us? Yes, I hope for a brighter experience of life for me, and my life is already really bright and beautiful. But my darlings, I hope this for you. I pray this for you too. A dream shared is a dream amplified. So my hope is your heart is filled with love. That you can recognize that you are a beautiful blessing in this world. That you are opening to your unique set of gifts and abilities, your creative spirit. Even if you don't think you're creative, I affirm that you are. So just to allow this love to inform you. Energy flows where attention goes. So for the last few minutes, you've been focused on the sound of my voice. And maybe without even knowing it, you have been focused on this love that is flowing through for you. And it is informing you. It is helping you open to the grace and the light that is here for you. So thank you for sharing your preciousness with me. Thank you for being here. And if this is your time to sleep, I invite you to cozy on up and snuggle on in. I'm somebody who loves bedtime, so I love cozying up and snuggling into my blankets and pillows at the end of a day. So I share this joy with you. And whenever you feel your consciousness beginning to drift, I wish you the sweetest of dreams. And if you are listening and it is your waking hours, then I hope to be good company for you. So we'll move on into story time, my friends. And as we come into story time, I have to pay homage to the sleep podcast called Sleep With Me with Drew Ackerman, also known as Scooter. That's his pen name. So he created the very first sleep podcast I ever listened to. It's wonderful. And Scooter used to flip through Trader Joe's frequent flyer. And these were my favorite episodes that he did. He also did something called real-time cooking. Those were my other favorites that he did. But I felt like I was going grocery shopping with a friend. You know, what would he put in his cart? What's his favorite cheese? And he stopped doing those episodes. I think he may do them once in a while. But that's where the inspiration comes to share the frequent flyer with you. So I would be remiss if I continued with this episode without giving a shout out to Sleep With Me and Drew Ackerman, aka Scooter, for bringing this idea forward, for inspiring this content. I create it with the greatest of love and gratitude for the many countless episodes he has created that have kept me company many a night as I drift off to sleep. And so, as I shared earlier, with this story time, we are going to be flipping through the pages of the August Fearless Flyer. And yes, as I record this, it is September, and it will be released in September of 2024. I have no idea when you're going to listen to this, so some of the items that I talk about may no longer be available, because one of the hazards of loving Trader Joe's is learning how to live with disappointment, because especially if you don't know Trader Joe's, if you live out of the United States, Trader Joe's is a fascinating grocery store where 95% of everything on the shelves is their house brand. And so they create their own items, and they are always changing inventory. So for any of you, including myself, if you have ever become obsessed, would be a good word, with a specific item at Trader Joe's, you probably know the heartbreak of when it is discontinued. I've already spent way too many of my podcast hours lamenting the absence of, say it with me, the Jumbo Raisin Medley that got discontinued about 3 years ago. We're not going to talk about that again, though. That was it. That was my one homage to that which I have loved and lost. The thing I am bemoaning now, which does not sound sexy or appealing at all, but really served a purpose in our household, is their high-fiber cereal. I know. Not something to get really excited about, except for the fact it was really good. Yes, it's high fiber, and if you know why that is an appealing prospect, a high fiber cereal that tastes good, the calorie count, the ingredients, everything about it was great. And so what happened? My husband and I leaned into this cereal. We loved it. It went great on some yogurt with some fruit instead of granola. Like it found its place in our home. And oh, woe is me, because it wasn't on the shelves the last time I went. And I was like, just please be out of stock. Out of stock is different than discontinued. Out of stock means I just keep the candle burning, and at some point it will come back into inventory. My Trader Joe's person, though, not my Trader Joe's, I don't mean to make it sound like we have an intimate relationship, but the person behind the Trader Joe's customer service desk says, yeah, we can't order it. It looks like it has been discontinued. Oh, but I am sad about this, because there is no dupe out there. You know, it's like if your favorite brand of cornflakes is discontinued, there are other cornflakes out there. There is not a good dupe. I have looked. So yet another disappointment from my friend Trader Joe's, adding to the list of things that have been discontinued that I continued to miss. But listen, sometimes relationships are a risk. Like you go into it, it's like if you have a friend who's perpetually late, but you love them. And so you just make peace with the fact that they'll be late, and you bring a good book, or you load a book onto your phone and you hang out, knowing they'll probably show up 20 minutes late, but you love them, so you accept it about them. This is how I feel about Trader Joe's. So I will add the high fiber cereal to my list, including the oyster crackers, the Belgian chocolate pudding, the little perfectly sized cups of pineapple cottage cheese that got me through easily the first 6 months after bariatric surgery. And other things perhaps I have forgotten, but actually if you go into Reddit, the Trader Joe's subreddit, you will find many threads about discontinued items, and I am not alone in this. Anyone who has shopped at Trader Joe's for any period of time can easily bring to mind that which they are missing. But rather than making this a sad, sad story about the high fiber cereal that will be no more, because I'm sure something else awesome will take its place, let us go through what is being offered in the August 2024 Fearless Flyer that may already no longer be available, but that's life, right? Life comes with a certain amount of risk reward. So we start off with cheddar macaroni and cheese. Oh, it's boxed. Now they have mac and cheese in the freezer section. That's pretty good for frozen mac and cheese. If you need like a quick meal, I keep it on hand because if I have a tummy ache, mac and cheese tends to be a really good comfort meal for me. And then I might throw it out at some point because of freezer burn, because it's not necessarily a food I eat all the time. But this is their boxed mac and cheese. So that will remind you of your childhood memories. And they're saying that, zhuzh it up maybe with some TJ's sriracha sauce, which doesn't sound at all good to me. I have shared with you before, I have no tolerance for spicy, meaning heat, kinds of food. So if anything has jalapeno, habanero, sriracha, I just immediately know it's a no for me. So, and they're saying maybe you can make it with their caramelized onion and bell pepper turkey patties, which again, not sounding good to me. Now, here's something I need to share with you that I personally have not had, but the people in social media are going crazy for, and I don't even know if they're still available, but if they are going to go away, people will be very unhappy about that. They are Carolina Gold Style barbecue flavor ridge cut potato chips. I know that's a lot of words, but apparently these are the best ridged barbecue potato chips in the world. So Trader Joe's Carolina Gold Barbecue Sauce, also known as CGBS, I don't really know if anybody calls it that, I'm just reading their copy, is a customer favorite. Unlike typical tomato-based barbecue sauces, this one has a distinctly tangy mustard base that takes its cues from classic Carolina barbecue. Okay, so you know what? That's good. I know I don't need to try these because aside from like honey mustard potato chips, I tend not to like mustardy things. Wes loves mustard on his sandwiches. And when I make his sandwiches, I'm sure I always put too little mustard because I can't imagine anybody wanting a lot of mustard on something. Yet I know for many people it is their favorite condiment. So these are supposed to be amazing. I have avoided buying them because first off, I know they are only temporary. And second off, I really do not need another potato chip that I am obsessed with. Like sometimes there are certain foods that are not in my active rotation. And I think, do not bring it into active rotation, Laurel. Because I get obsessed with things. And once something is in my rotation, it is very hard to get it out. So right now these, not in my rotation. I have no relationship with these potato chips. So they can come and they can go and it doesn't matter to me. But if I buy a bag and I love them, they will always have to be in my pantry. Food obsession is a really weird thing. But anyways, so I've not tried them. Perhaps you have. Then they're really known for their beverages as well. I tend not to, aside from, milk and coffee, I'm not much of a beverage person, except I will say I love Olipop sodas because they have fiber in them. So as you've heard, high fiber cereal, soda pop with fiber, you know what phase of life I am in, yes? So this is something spritzy with pineapple and orange. So something spritzy, that's actually the title, this is great. Trader Joe's Something Spritzy with Pineapple and Orange is truly a tropical treat. So it has a touch of ginger ale and botanical bitters to bring it all together. And 12 fluid ounces sells for $1.99. So if you're a beverage person, that might sound really good to you. All right, here's something else that people seem to really like a lot. Squiggly knife cut style noodles with a spicy garlic sesame sauce. So, ramen, noodles, they are having this renaissance. And I have seen many people eating these noodles and noodles like them, and they look absolutely delicious. However, if you heard the word spicy in the title, that immediately is on my no list. And being a bariatric patient, my tummy is not as big as it once was. And so if I try to eat something like noodles or pasta, I can only have a couple of bites before I'm really full. And so it's not that I don't ever eat them, but I tend to stay away from them because they're not the best food for me in terms of satiety, and, I don't get, happy eating them because I'm having a bite. So that's not something I would buy, but I will say other people have really loved this because, I follow people who talk about Trader Joe's on social media, and they do their hauls. I'm sorry, I think grocery hauls are amazing content. I love watching people's Trader Joe's grocery hauls. I'm so nosy. I want to know what they're buying, and then if they sample stuff, I'm even happier. Well, here's one that went in my cart and then I took it out, that I have been kind of quarreling with myself over. Peanut butter with honey. I love honey peanut butter. I mean, hello, sweet profile for peanut butter. Amazing. And I put it in my cart. And it is the kind of peanut butter that has the oil on the top, which is not my favorite kind of peanut butter. Listen, I can handle it. It's not as if it completely flummoxes me, but it's not my favorite kind of peanut butter. And so I think I actually went up and down an aisle with it in my cart until I finally talked myself out of it. So almost tried it, but didn't. They have ranch seasoned cashews. Love cashews, love ranch, have no desire to have ranch seasoned cashews. I think it's because as a lifelong dieter, nuts in my brain are so high in calories. Like, oh my God, I'm going to eat nuts. It's like a huge decision. I know that sounds crazy, and I don't mean to make it sound that dramatic, but I tend not to almost never. Is that right? I tend to almost not never. I don't think that's good English, but it's okay. It's a sleep podcast, and you might be snoozing already, so you won't even know. I tend to almost never pick nuts as a snack. I'll go to pretzels or something first, so I won't be trying those. Then they have Trader Joe's instant cold brew coffee. The brew is back. So I'm having a new relationship with coffee, as I have shared with you on another podcast. I do get their cold brew concentrate in the little bottle that I have on most mornings. I don't know that I've had this, the instant cold brew coffee. I don't know that I've had that one. And I also have my Javi, not from Trader Joe's, from the TikTok shop, as my coffee as well. But you know what's interesting? I have been doing well on coffee, and one of the reasons I have it is because it feels like it wakes my brain up. It helps me with my executive function more than awakeness, but it's like my brain works better. I don't know if that makes sense. But in the last week, it's made me jittery, which it hasn't made me jittery in a long time. So this morning, I just had one of my Javi cups of coffee and left the Trader Joe's concentrate out of my smoothie, because usually I would have it in both places. So I'm trying to see how that's going to work for me. Okay, this sounds like something I would love. Again, not going to get. Organic peanut butter and cocoa crunch cereal. Okay, that sounds delightful. I saw it. I think it's like little balls of cereal. So this would be perfect for snacking, because this is not a cereal I would ever eat as a cereal, as in a bowl with milk. This would be a bring the box of cereal to the couch and snack on that while we watch television. But in all likelihood, this has way too much sugar for me. I'm sure I looked up the ingredient list, and so it can't come in my house, but I am positive I would love it as a TV snack. So what's your favorite TV snack? I'm always fascinated by this. Wes and I go in and out of phases. We both love to snack in front of the TV. This week we went heavy on the pretzel slims, the flat pretzels, and pretzel crisps, I think they're called. And I like the everything but the bagel seasoned pretzel crisps. And I love dunking them in peanut butter. And I'm an adult, so I can bring the whole jar of peanut butter to the couch with the whole bag of pretzels and have at it. So this week, definitely Wes and I snacked on the everything pretzel crisps with peanut butter, and it was delightful. I haven't had this in quite a long time, but I made the mistake of buying some of that, smart kettle corn. So it's kettle corn, but it's supposed to be lower in calories and lower in sugar, which I hadn't eaten in a long time, but I got some. And now, again, in my obsessive rotations, I've had some of that this week. Not that I really think you care what I snack on, but snacks are an important part of life. They have brown butter salted caramel mini biscotti. Sounds lovely, not going to get them. Again, those of you who listen have heard me say this. I do not eat much in the way of refined sugar because it is a gateway for me of really bad behavior. So I won't be getting those. Then they have spicy meat pizza. Again, I'm so glad they put spicy in titles of things because I just know not for me. A Tale of Two Grapes. So it is a container containing both green and red seedless grapes. Now here's something I should share with you. I love grapes. I'm like a grape connoisseur. My grapes have to be sweet, so I cannot have tart flavored grapes. But I do not like the candy flavored grapes. It just confuses my brain. So I know some people love the cotton candy grapes. I don't like them, or any of the other candy flavored grapes they have. I love a really good, crisp, sweet green grape. And I also love the peony Kyoho grapes, which are just coming into season. So grape season here in Northern California is the end of September. So we're about to get some really good grapes coming to market. So I am that annoying person. I have to taste the grapes before I buy them because nothing is worse than having 3 pounds of grapes I won't eat because I don't like them. Okay, they have spinach and ricotta ravioli. Again, sounds lovely. I won't buy them because they're not in our rotation. I'm sure they're delicious though. And then they have plum cots, which is a hybrid between a plum and an apricot. I've had them before, not from Trader Joe's, but at the farmer's market, and they're okay. I don't know, they're not a fruit that calls to me. Then they have Trader Joe's Caesar salad with chicken and also one with salmon. I have had a new affinity for Caesar salad. I hadn't had it in a while, but I bought this overpriced bag of Caesar salad blend mix at Costco, $8.99. I mean, that's a lot of money, and it doesn't even have any protein in it, but it was really good. So Wes and I feasted on Caesar salad a few times. So I have not bought these from Trader Joe's. I probably wouldn't. I tend not. There's only one of their salads, like pre-mixed salads, that I like, and it is the peanut one with the peanut dressing. But otherwise, I don't buy them. They have pita chips. Pita chips are delightful. Again, I don't buy them, but I enjoy them. But you know what they used to have? They used to have cinnamon pita chips that I loved. Again, discontinued Trader Joe's. Thank you. And then they have almond chipotle dip. Again, thank you for putting chipotle in the title. I know it's not for me. Thank you, but I'm sure other people will really enjoy it. They have Kumato tomatoes, so Kumato, which are fresh tomatoes in the produce section. They're supposed to be very, very sweet. I've never had them because usually the time of year that they come to market parallels the time of year when all of our tomatoes become ripe in our backyard. And Wes grows the most delicious tomatoes. I would not even think of buying a tomato this time of year. His tomatoes are so good. We have at least 5 varieties out back, and they're delicious. So I cannot tell you thumbs up or thumbs down on the Kamato tomatoes, but I can absolutely tell you Wes's tomatoes are the bomb. And if you lived more closely to us, I would give you some, because when you grow a backyard full of tomatoes, you always have a lot to share. They have sliced black truffle Monterey Jack cheese. Yeah, sounds fine. If they were sampling it in the store, I would try it. I tend not to have a strong affinity for truffle flavored things. It's not that I don't like it, but it's not a flavor profile I gravitate to. And the Trader Joe's that I go to most of the time is next door to a Whole Foods that puts out this little basket of odds and ends of cheese, which means I can buy these little pieces of cheese for, $2 or something. And there are cheeses over there that I really, really love. So if I'm going to buy cheese, I'm going to buy the cheese I love. And what cheeses might those be, Laurel? You might be thinking to yourself. Drunken goat cheese. That's all you need to know. Drunken goat cheese. It does not taste like alcohol, so don't get worried about that. If you are near a cheesemonger who has that and they will let you sample it, see if it's going to be your thing. They also have a 3-month Manchego. Fantastic. And then one that is really nothing special, I just love it, is Munster cheese. Like, give me a little block of Munster cheese that I can put onto my pretzel crisps and I will be happy. Then in terms of the frozen stuff, they have mango cream bars, which people are raving about. They're like orange creamsicles, but with mango. They're supposed to be fantastic, but I wouldn't buy them because of the sugar. They have Madeline cookies, which I'm sure are lovely. Milk chocolate covered gummy bears. People are loving these things. Back when I ate sugar, I did have, not from Trader Joe's, but I did have some chocolate covered gummies, and I was confused by the experience. It wasn't something that I would need to have. If I was going to buy chocolate something, I would want Bridge Mix, chocolate cashews. Forget about the ranch cashews. Just give me chocolate cashews. So things enrobed in chocolate that are nuts or other kinds of things I'm good with, but I would rather have just eaten a plain gummy bear or something else covered in chocolate. But that's just me, but other people are loving these. I don't know if they still are at Trader Joe's or not. Then they have freezer pops, because who doesn't want a good freezer pop? Yes, when you were a kid, those tube things that would go in the freezer, and you'd have to pick which flavor you wanted. We always wanted the cherry or the grape, right? The orange were always the last ones, because nobody ever wanted an orange freezer pop. But that was just in our house. Onto the condiment section. I don't know that it's a section. There's one condiment on this page, rice vinegar, which if you listened to a recent episode and I talked to you about cucumber talk, I did have to go out and replace my rice vinegar so that I can make cucumber salad and be very trendy along with the rest of the people on TikTok. Sriracha sauce, which I'm never going to buy. And sour cream and onion lentil rings. Now, they've had these for a couple of years. I had high hopes for these because I am a Funyun girl. I don't know why it is, but Funyuns are one of these chip snack things that I have guilt over. I don't know why. I don't know if at some point they were part of my sneaking of food back in the day. It's not that I have any bad memories of Funyuns. But as an adult, I would never go out and buy a big bag of Funyuns. even before Wes. Now, the reason Wes factors into this is Wes does not like onions in anything at all. You know how some people have the aversion to cilantro because it tastes like soap? Wes has an aversion to onions. So I would never bring Funyuns in just because of that. But even before Wes, BW, before Wes, I think maybe once or twice in my life I bought the big bag of Funyuns. But I'm a Funyun girl. Like, they're delicious. So if you invited me over for a party and there was a big bowl of Funyuns, I would strategically park myself near it so that I could eat a lot of them. So I had high hopes for these sour cream and onion lentil rings because they're smaller than Funyuns, but they were a smaller bag. And lentils, those are good for you, right? I didn't like them. Other people love them, so I'm not saying don't get them, but I was really expecting a Funyun, and it is not a Funyun. It is its own thing. And then a year went by, and I thought, maybe I was wrong, and I bought them, and I didn't like them again. So they're not my thing, but they are other people's thing, so you might like them. They have, onto other things, sorry, we're going to get away from the Funyun conversation. They have barbecue and black pepper Toscana chopped salad. I love chopped salad bagged mixes. This one has red and green cabbage, shredded carrots, broccoli, kale. I love the copy in these things. Okay, and such confident vegetable crunchiness is complemented by even more crunch conveyed by cornbread croutons. And the black pepper Toscana cheese brings a rich and nutty flavor with a touch of cracked black pepper heat. The barbecued sweet onion dressing molasses notes pair exceptionally well with the flavor of the cheese. So, love the idea of cornbread croutons, yes. The mix of veggies sounds terrific, but they completely lost me on the black pepper. Not my thing. And I don't know, well, no, I was going to say I don't know that I would like barbecue on a salad, but I just realized that is not true because I love Cheesecake Factory's barbecue chicken salad. It comes with a barbecue ranch dressing, so I am amending my thoughts on barbecue flavored dressings, but I still wouldn't get that one. And then they have dolmas, which are the grape leaves stuffed with rice or meat. For some reason, the flavor profile of those do not speak to me. I know people love them and have had them before, and they aren't my thing. I don't know, they're not my flavor profile. But I love other Greek food, so definitely a fan of Greek food. Just dolmas, for some reason, are not my thing. Okay, then they have something for the lunchbox. It's Trader Joe's fresh mozzarella cheese snackers. Are bite-sized balls of fresh mozzarella made from milk that's freshly collected in the treasure and magic valleys of southern Idaho. Sounds lovely. Each 8-ounce resealable package contains 8 70-calorie snack pouches. These go great with fresh grapes or pita crackers. Okay, another thing that shows up in my social media feed are people who make bento boxes for lunch. I work from home, so I have no reason to make a to-go lunch anymore. If I did, it would not be adorable. It would be functional. But I love the aspirational aspect of a beautiful bento box lunch. You know what I learned today? No, how would you? Like, that's such a random question. You know what I learned today? And then if you gave me the right answer, wouldn't that be freaky? I'd be like, you'd be the best psychic in the world. Okay, so but that's just a rhetorical thing, right? Like, do you know what I learned today? On TikTok, of course, where I learn everything. It is my new Encyclopedia Britannica for culture. Okay. apparently in Trinidad and Tobago, go Trinidad and Tobago, there's a thing called the Adult Birthday Box. It's this big box, clearly, because that's in the title, and it's filled with yummy food, like a tray of pasta, a tray of, chicken wings, a tray of, think of other delicious things, and a birthday cake. And it's called I don't know if it's called an adult birthday box, but apparently that's something that people do. I was like, that is a great idea. And so people on TikTok were flipping out over this idea, thinking, we need this. This should be a business here in the United States. Adult birthday boxes. In mine, I would want some form of Chinese food. And I don't really eat dessert, but something else could be in there that I would love. I'm just saying. Great idea. So from lunchbox to bento box to adult birthday box. Always a riveting conversation here at Sleepy Bedtime Blessings. Okay, roasted corn. What is this? I have talked to you before about my love of elote. Let's see, corn on the cob, corn salad, elote. So one of our favorites is fire roasted corn. Mine too, Trader Joe's. Oh, it's in the freezer. Okay, so this is frozen corn flavored like roasted flavored corn. Not as exciting as perhaps fresh elote. Okay, the other thing I have to quarrel with is when they start describing something and I think that sounds delicious, only to find out it's a dog treat, because that just was happening. Nothing but the sweet potato. And I was like, I'm riveted because I love sweet potato. Nothing but the sweet potato, dog treats. Well, if you're a dog, that's really good news, or you have a dog, but neither of those apply to me. But I got all excited about this idea of some sort of sweet potato treat for me. But that's okay. It's all right. Dogs should have delicious things from Trader Joe's as well. Trader Joe's is also known for having flowers and plants that are wonderful. So there is a section here for their succulents and cactus. Not my thing. Please don't buy me plants. I always feel this pressure to keep them alive. And that's pressure on me. So you don't ever have to buy me plants. There's peach black tea scented candles. I used to enjoy scented candles, but I don't know what has happened to me in my older years. I do not like things that are scented like other things. I need everything just to smell the way it smells. So I will never have a Glade plug-in. I will never use an air freshener. I was very disappointed that Febreze smelled like something. I thought it was just to take away odors, but Febreze actually has its own odor. It's so interesting. I don't know if this happens to anyone else. I'm sure it must. But, as I get older, my experience of things change. So scented candles now, it's too much information. It's too much input. Sensory overload. I don't know. Anyways, but I'm sure for other people, peach black tea scented candles would be lovely, lovely in the home. Okay, we're almost there, everybody. Organic silver dollar pancakes. Those were so wonderful. Not the Trader Joe's ones, but as a kid, getting to go for silver dollar pancakes somewhere was amazing. I'm sure as whoever is working back in the kitchen, whenever they had an order for silver dollar pancakes, it must have been torturous to, ladle out these tiny blobs of pancake batter and create silver dollar pancakes. But as a kid, that was the best. We used to take vacations in the car as kids. Well, my parents were there too. And we would eat at Howard Johnson's. Do you guys remember the Hojos with the turquoise and the orange roofs? I remember silver dollar pancakes being the thing. Or the larger pancake that they would make a face out of, chocolate chips and whipped cream and something else. So Trader Joe's has organic silver dollar pancakes in the freezer section. I won't be getting them, but I do appreciate the memories, Trader Joe's. They have cultured salted butter. I love butter. I don't know that I've ever bought this, though. Vegan banana bread with walnuts. Sounds phenomenal. Won't be getting it. Sugar. Whole wheat English muffins. I love a good English muffin, but I do not buy them because I never would go through a whole pack. And Wes doesn't eat them. So if there's 6 English muffins in a package, that's pressure to have one every day because they go bad at some point. So again, if we're staying at a hotel and they have a breakfast bar and there is an English muffin on it, I will likely get an English muffin rather than toast or a hotel bagel. Like I said, I'm a grape snob. I am a bagel snob. I am a girl from Skokie, Illinois, and I know a good bagel. So, given just normal muggle, pedestrian, white bread bagels, I will choose an English muffin every time with its nook and crannies. Then they have gluten-free, crispy, and crunchy chocolate chip cookies. Sounds amazing. Again, sugar. Alas, sugar. They have coffee mochi, in the ice cream section. Okay, can I wax poetic about mochi for a second? There is a bakery in Berkeley called Third Culture Bakery, and they make mochi donuts and mochi muffins. And one of the mochi muffins, they say on their description that it's sweetened with coconut sugar, which I can have. Listen, these are all self-made rules, just so you know. When I say I can have it, it's not like some nutritionist said it's okay. These are Laurel's rules for engaging in sweets. Again, it keeps other things out of active rotation for me. Maybe it has real sugar in it. I don't know, but I pretend that it doesn't. And they sell them at Berkeley Bowl. So I can go into Berkeley Bowl and get a mochi muffin that I believe to be sweetened with coconut sugar. It is an epiphany of deliciousness. The texture is kind of chewy, which it's weird to have a chewy muffin, but it makes sense. Right? It's like seeing a breed like a husky in the shape of a corgi. It's strange, but when you see it, it makes sense. And I feel that way about a mochi muffin. It's chewy. It's a chewy, delicious muffin. And it makes sense. So now, unfortunately, I am obsessed with them. And what that really means is once every week or so, which means every week or two, I have to go to Berkeley Bowl, which on the surface is not a big deal, but there is a toll involved. Here in the Bay Area, we have tolls to go over bridges. Dumb thing if you ask me, but nobody does. So to just go to Berkeley Bowl, I'm in it for $7, no matter what. But it's okay. It's Berkeley Bowl. I get other things there, and I have discovered a delicious chocolate pudding made with coconut cream, dates, sweetened with dates. Fits into my repertoire. Coconut and carob and chocolate. Delicious. Didn't need to know about it, but now I do. So I go and I get a mochi muffin. I get my pudding. I get really, really good grapes because they normally have 20 different varieties at Berkeley Bowl. And I get other stuff too. And if they don't have my mochi muffins, good news, in case you were worried for me, Third Culture Bakery is just up the street from Berkeley Bowl. So I don't only have the ability to buy it from Berkeley Bowl in their bakery section, but if they're out, I can go up to Third Culture Bakery, where parking is not always easy, but the end result is worth it. So, all right, we're just on the last page here, that back cover. Cereal bars, Trader Joe's organic iced oatmeal and organic chocolate chip baked whole grain bars. I'm not a cereal bar person. I don't know. It just isn't my thing. I love a good protein bar. And which protein bars, you might be wondering? Well, I love the Built bars. The Built Bar Puffs, to be specific, which I order directly from Built Bar. It tastes kind of like a marshmallow covered in chocolate. It totally fits for me. The cookie dough chunk puff is fantastic. I think it's 150 calories and 15 grams of protein. Delightful. And then I also love Bear Bells, which they do sell at Trader Joe's. And the one that I like the most right now, I think it's called Chocolate Dough. And I love them in the refrigerator, like when they're cold. Okay, but that's enough about my protein bar situation. A new thing that they have at Trader Joe's are mocha latte pretzels. So those are those thin pretzels covered in coffee-flavored confectionery coating and dark chocolate drizzle. If I ate sugar, I would probably buy these and love them, but I likely wouldn't have bought them because Wes doesn't like anything coffee-flavored. So if I were bringing a treat like that into the house, I would want it to be something he would also enjoy. But you might like them. And then there's everything but the kitchen sink cookie and bar mix. Okay, so let's talk about this. Let's see. It's just as delightful as it sounds. So what's in it? 35% of the mix: chocolate chunks, oats, walnuts, coconut flakes, caramel bits, mini pretzels. It's everything one would want in a great cookie. Oh, this is going to make cookies. Got it. So this is a cookie mix. I have no idea how it would be, but it sounds lovely, yes? When I used to make cookies, I would like to put a lot of things in them. So I'm definitely an assortment of inclusions in cookies kind of person. But the whole cookie thing, I am no longer a part of the cookie culture. The only cookie I eat is the Siete cookies that are made with almond flour and sweetened with coconut sugar. And they're teeny tiny, and 5 of them is 150 calories. So I buy bags of those, which we eat occasionally, and I like the chocolate chip ones. Just saying. If you're looking for a no refined sugar, gluten-free cookie recommendation, Siete cookies. 2 thumbs up. And that brings us to the end of this frequent flyer from Trader Joe's. Before you know it, I will have the next Trader Joe's frequent flyer, which I'm sure will have a heavy focus on all of their pumpkin spice stuff that is soon to be hitting the stores. I'm not much of a pumpkin spice girl, but I know others of you are, so I will bring that to you when it becomes available. So in the meanwhile, beautiful friends, thank you for allowing me to share this delicious delightfulness with you. I wish you the sweetest of dreams. I am grateful for this time with you. I hope your heart is just a little bit happier than when we started. And I look forward to connecting with you again soon. Thank you, and I love you.